So Hazelwood, 250 wickets. Really nice, actually. Little setup there to Alik Athanasi to take the top of his off stump. There was first two was just making him play. Just put one just a little bit shorter, but it was still hitting the top of off. He left it and it took the bail. So all four now have 250 Test wickets in Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark, and Lyon. That's the first time ever that four guys have played in the same match that have 250 Test wickets. The caveat is at the time.
At the time.
So we were thinking about Lee, McGrath, Gillespie, Warne. They all ended up getting 250, but when they played together, Lee didn't quite have his 250. That's true. It was making me think of the best bowling quartets of all time. You ask anyone that's a bit older, dads, if that's your cup of tea, who you talk to for your old cricketing information. A lot of them will tell you that Garner and Holding and Marshall and Croft and the like back in the 80s were pretty handy. But there's a real argument now that this four is possibly the best quartet of all time. I was looking last night at a few sort of bowling partnerships, and obviously, Broad and Anderson have over 1,000 wickets together, but in terms of an awesome foursome, they didn't really have people to go with them for extended periods of time. Graham Swan played a fair bit of cricket with them. You think of other bowling partnerships, Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus, Courtney Walsh and Curtly Ambrose. The triplets of Antini, Sean Pollock and Aaron Donald back in the late 90s. But I don't think a team has just had a pick it and stick it kind of option that we've had with these four. And it's such a luxury for Australian cricket fans, that we've just sort of become accustomed to. These are the four, provided they're fit, and then we've got some depth off the bench, if you will, with Scotty Boland and Jai Richardson when he's come in, and the future's obviously looking towards possibly Lance Morris. But we've really been blessed with these four bowlers over the last sort of 10 years. The fact that they've got 1,000 wickets plus, it's more like 1,300, isn't it, with Lions? Yeah. We're looking at how many tests that has to be to actually get that many.
Yep.
That's, what was it, 65 tests or something of every single wicket?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I think you sort of touched on it as well, like the fact that they're healthy, like Cummins has been in and out of the squad, Hazelwood's been in and out of the squad, Lions last year.
Hazelwood debuted a bit later as well, so...
So
I think we worked it out. It was about 134 tests since Lyon debuted.
Yep.
And interesting, I was surprised that Lyon, Stark and Cummins all debuted within 3-4 months of each other.
Yeah. So Cummins was out for 4 years.
Yes, yeah. But then that worked out to about 2,640 odd runs available, and they've taken
wickets.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, wickets available, and they've taken 1,380. So just over half of them. But like we said, there's plenty of different other ways to get out. So for them to get 50% just shows, one, how dominant they've been in the squad. No one's been able to break into it. And they've also, their consistency outside of those guys missing a couple injuries, they've been able to play for as long as they have.
And that's that 2,500 odd wickets available in their careers so far. Doesn't take into account, weather, doesn't take into account a team, losing to an India or
not taking
something.
all 20 wickets in a test match.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think if you want to argue the case, it's the best quartet of all time. The stats are certainly there to back it up. For mine, a team that involves McGrath and Warne, the arguably greatest spinner of all time and greatest Australian quick of all time.
Yep.
Pretty hard to argue against. So whether or not you go with Lee and Gillespie to back them or insert other two here, I suppose the caveat there is they didn't play as much cricket together as a foursome. I think that four in particular had about 16 tests together. So these guys are approaching 30 tests together.
Yep. Yeah, and likely they will continue. It's pretty most likely that Cummins and Hazelwood will get past 300 while they're all still playing together.
Yeah, so we'll be able to talk about this in maybe 18 months' time with all of them having 300 plus.
Yeah. Another 52 for Stark in that time frame is probably a bit too many to get to his 400. So, because they
not
are
impossible.
But they also do steal wickets from each other. So that is the challenge with this, is who gets what wickets. Because Hazelwood and Cummins basically took all the wickets in this test. So